What's up, you guys? Welcome to the Chaz Way podcast. It's episode number 2 of 2022. My name is Chaz Foster. I'm joined by my friend. I was going to ask you exactly how to say your last name, and I forgot to. So, Stephanie, I'm going to say it. If I butcher it, you can help me. Stephanie Ferrara.
Perfect.
Perfect. Okay, cool. And so today we're going to talk about a lot of cool things. But first, just to remind you guys, we are a couple of weeks into 2022. I'm super excited. And just to recap what my mission is and my goal for this podcast is to make sure that you know that you're loved and that I'm here to make sure that I bring as much value to you and that you know you can take your life from ordinary to extraordinary. I'm right here to walk by your side and support you in any way possible. And so we just always want to bring value. So if there's anything that resonates with you, anything we can do to help you or to guide you or to just be there to walk by your side, just know that myself and any of the guests here are always here to do that. So if you need anything, reach out, and it's definitely here to help you along the way. So today I brought on a good friend of mine she's from the Little Rock, Arkansas area. She lives in Maumelle, which oddly enough, I've spent a lot of time there. But before that, I had no clue how to say it. I have a lot of friends actually from that area now. But prior to me ever going there, I was like, how in the world do you say that? But it's Maumelle. It's a suburb of Little Rock. And it's really a cool area, actually. I love it there. So, guys, I met Stephanie probably a year and a half ago, roughly. And immediately what I knew was, first of all, she had good taste in meal options. She was drinking the shake and tea, which I love as well. So good nutrient foods. And then we just had cool conversation. And she's a business builder, an entrepreneur, and believes in empowering people to make good, strong, solid decisions. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But I wanted to have Stephanie on so she can share a little bit about what she does. She's a strong, godly woman who believes in just helping other people make good choices to walk a solid life and as well. And so she'll talk a little bit about that, but just a quick introduction. So Stephanie, say hello. And why don't you talk a little bit about my first question. First of all, say hello to everybody. So say hi.
Hey, everybody. Chaz, thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited to be able to just chat with you. It's been a while.
It has been a very long while. I think last time was in person at Olive Garden.
I think so.
And so let me ask you to start with, what did you do prior to, let's call it entrepreneurship, prior to owning your time and owning your future? What did you do before that?
All right. So I have to caveat that a little bit because I've actually been an entrepreneur since I was 18.
Awesome.
So now let me say this, right now, what I do in my business, I do support women and men who are creating online courses. They're creating a coaching program in some way. It might be, one-on-one coaching and online courses, but really getting it started, taking that thing that they do, maybe one-on-one. And even network marketers who are growing a team, there's something that you do one-on-one with every new team member, right? And so taking that and turning it into something that could be a little bit more automated and a little bit more, it's less repetitive for you. I'll put it that way, right? The things you repeat all the time, you can put those into a course or into some program where you've got a system. And so that's what I do now. And what I started with, though, was network marketing. As soon as I turned 18, as soon as I was legal, that was the thing that I did. And so I have had some type of business since then, whether it was network marketing or a couple other just on my own type of ventures in the retail space. And but all along the way, working full time, I was so blessed in my early 20s to get into a bank and to be able to grow in my career there. And so I spent 20 years as a project manager, working in the banking industry, working in the insurance industry, and supporting a bank in Tennessee, supporting a bank in Oklahoma, and then supporting insurance companies here in Arkansas. And absolutely loved my job. It was one of those things that I didn't know I was born to do it until I was doing it. And then I realized, in high school, that's what I did in theater. I was in costuming in theater. I wasn't on the stage. I was behind the scenes, making sure things happened in the right order, and that costumes were made and costumes were all ready for the show, and the right costumes were backstage for those quick changes and things like that. And that was project management, and I didn't know right at that time that that's what it was. But as I became a project manager, I look back, I was like, I've like always done this. And so that's the exciting thing about what I get to do now in my business, is as I'm coaching people in their businesses, I get to help them discover that thing that they've always been so good at. It's like comes so naturally to them. And I get to help them turn that into something they get to teach somebody else. And that is just like, it's amazing. Plus the financial freedom that comes with that, the time freedom, being able to set your own schedule, being able to like rearrange things if you need to, and not feel guilty about it. And so it's amazing. Like the other day, I had just gotten on a call with a client, and my daughter texted, and I needed to go pick her up from school. And so I was like, hey, I've got this next hour available. Can we just shift by an hour? She's like, yeah, no problem. Isn't it amazing that you get to do that? Isn't it awesome that you have that freedom? You don't have to go like ask your boss, hey, can I go pick my daughter up? Like sure. None of that. It's just like, as long as my client can rearrange, I'm good. Right.
I think the reality is those things wouldn't be possible. I think you were from a brick and mortar or, working in a punch in, punch out type lifestyle.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be possible. Of course, the answer generally would be no in most jobs.
Yeah. Or you'd be penalized for it. Right.
Sure.
Okay. But I'm going to have to write you up for it because it was unplanned,
For sure. So when did you shift into where you chose to take on the role of, entrepreneurship's been a thing, but when did you go to a spot where you decided you were going to help other people? Coach, where you were going to coach others?
Sure. So it started, I'm going to say the idea, this business plan for life coaching, business coaching was dropped into me in 2015. I was working from home one week during the summer. I always loved to take a week off or work from home a week so my daughter could like sleep in and not have to go to childcare, like, summer camp and things like that. And so I was working from home one week, and every time I got off of a conference call, like as soon as we were wrapping up, more ideas would flow into my head. And it was immediately, I had to go write them down. So by the end of this week, I had flip chart paper all over my living room that had this whole business plan for coaching, and what it was going to be, group coaching, and kind of what it was going to look like, and how much I was going to, what my goals were, my, financially, and all this kind of stuff, how much I would charge. All these things were just laid out. And I looked at it at the end of the week, and I'm like, I don't even know what a life coach is. What is a life coach? Right. But it's there. I wrote it down because it's what I heard in my head. I don't know what a business coach is. I had been a business consultant, doing contract work for a bank, had been a consultant, but I hadn't done coaching. So I had to do some research, right? And so, of course, along the way, I find training for like John Maxwell and Zig Ziglar type coaching. And it sounded amazing. But then I happened upon this other woman who, she's like, I've done the guys things. No offense to guys, but y'all think differently. So she's like, I've done the coaching with the male created coaching, right? And she's like, there's just something that needs to be a little bit different, a little more feminine when you're coaching women. And I knew that I was called to coach women specifically. So today, depending on which hat I'm wearing in my business, because I do some freelance coaching as well, I might be coaching men, I might be coaching women. In my particular business, I know I'm called to coach women, to help them build kingdom-minded businesses, not necessarily faith-forward businesses, but those that are keeping God in mind, that are asking God, what's the plan? They're saying, what do I need to do today, God, to move this business forward so that we can impact the kingdom? And that's so that there is an overflow of money that takes care of not only your family, but that overflow, you're then able to give to those causes, those missions, those ministries that you care so much about, to be able to give more to your church if that's where you're called to send that money, right? And so it's not a poverty mindset of whatever I make, I have to give. It's that I get to give from the overflow. So I get to give my tithe, but then there's this overflow, and I get to choose where that goes. And it's ministries don't run without money. They depend on people to make money, to be able to give them money so that they can do their thing and support the people who don't have money to be able to get those services.
Yeah.
And so that is that's the mission of my business, is to help women create businesses that overflow in that way.
I love that. That's so awesome. Well, I mean, God bless you for doing it. I love that. I mean, obviously God clearly spoke to you in that. I would love to give you the credit for it. Obviously it was divinely appointed, and I think that's
totally.
all. So, but you chose to listen. And so I just wanted to acknowledge you for that, because you had an option. You did have an option, and you chose.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
So let's just reel it back for a second. So, last week I talked to my friend Dustin, and we were talking about entrepreneurship. What we were talking about was personal development. And I said, hey, let's talk for a second to the person that doesn't yet understand personal development. So my question to you would be, let's talk to the person that's listening or watching that doesn't yet understand life coaching, or even maybe women's life coaching. So give like a less than a minute version of what does that look like? If somebody said, well, that's awesome, and maybe I could use some coaching, but what does that look like for somebody that doesn't even understand that language yet? So talk to that person.
Sure. So what it looks like for me is, I know I was called to the marketplace. So I know I'm called to coach other entrepreneurs, right? I'm called to help build businesses. You can't separate your life from your business. And those things that have happened to you in your past, those past failures, trauma, the things that maybe like you grew up in an environment that believed one thing, and then you realize there might be something more to life, right? We all grow up with those things.
There is always more to life.
There is always more. We all, but we all grow up with these things that we believe. And those things either help us and propel us forward, or they hinder us and they keep us stuck and playing small. And like, we all have them, and we all have a little bit of both. And so where the life coaching piece of it comes into the business coaching is, I can teach you tactics, and I can teach you strategies to grow your email list, to promote online, to create a course or create a coaching program. I can teach you those. But if I can't get you past your limiting belief that you don't know enough yet, or that belief of who's going to listen to me, who even cares what I have to say, or even that I don't deserve to be paid money for this thing that comes so easily to me.
Yeah.
If I can't get you past that, it doesn't matter what tactic I teach you. And so these two things have to happen together, that we work through those mindsets, those beliefs, those limiting beliefs. And some of it comes from, like I said, some of it's trauma. And trauma doesn't mean like physical trauma always. Trauma can be that highly critical teacher that always, you never did enough. It was always not quite good enough, even when you gave your best. Or it could be a parent, or it could be a sibling or a friend or whatever. It could be a one-off, offhanded comment that the person wasn't even thinking, and they just said something. But the devil said, oh, I'm going to hold on to that one, because when he's like 22, I can use that. And I'm going to start repeating it in his head. So because that's about the time that he's going to say, oh, I like this. This is where I'm supposed to be. This feels where I'm called. This is where I'm supposed to go in life. But if I can keep him remembering that person said, you'll never amount to anything. If I can keep that playing in his head, it's all done. I don't have to worry about anything, right? And so being able to address somebody's internal dialogue, and I can see it when I'm coaching somebody and I tell them, I'm maybe coaching them on a tactic, something to use, right? Let's just use reels. Okay. Reels are something that are amazing. They're fun, but so many people are like, oh, I'm not doing a reel. I'm not going to dance. I'm not going to point. Right. And I'm not a social media, like, I don't know, expert. I'm not. This is something I had to personally overcome. It's like, because at first I was like, that just seems stupid. I'm going to do, but I'm going to say it works. And if I don't go out and promote myself, because it doesn't have to be a reel, it could be a video, it could be just a post, it's your face. if I don't promote myself, I'm not doing everything I can to achieve my calling, because nobody's going to know that I even exist to do it. And so I can tell when I'm working with a client and we start heading down a path. Let me share something like totally not even external. Okay. So I have a client that I was working with recently, and she was struggling with getting all the things done. She has like 8 different organizations she's involved with. She doesn't want to leave any of these things out. All of them are important. And I'm like, great. We just need to schedule then the time to make those things happen. Prioritize what happens, what doesn't. And, and when we started talking scheduling, I could see her just like get very rigid in her body. And I could see that there was something wrong. Okay. And so, and then finally she's like, is that really how I have to do it? And I'm like, why is that a problem?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so she was like, I don't know. It just seems like I should, I should be able to just fit things in and all that. I'm like, but that's what you've been doing. And then you called me and said, I need help, right? Something's not working. And so when we dug into why she was resistant to a schedule, like actually putting time on her calendar to work on developing a web page that she needed to sell a new program she was doing, or putting time on her calendar to practice piano because she's a concert pianist and she needs to practice, right? But
Sure.
Putting that time on her calendar, when we worked through that, it all came down to she had a very stern mom who had a very strict schedule, and she rebelled against it. And so we had to work through that, forgive mom, thank mom for how she got her where she needed to go when she needed to get there. But then it's working it out. Now we have to retrain the body to not be resistant to that. And so that's something that's more of a life coaching aspect of what I do that applies to every part of her life. It's not just her business, right?
I love it. 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 And I'm glad you shared that one, because it's just a quick reminder that we commonly have something that is holding us back. And a lot of times we just need to break those things down and release them, and then we can move forward. Quickly, before I let you go, what are 3 things that would benefit somebody in the entrepreneur? Because like you said, that's obviously who you attract. It's the world you're in. Mm-hmm. So somebody that is maybe looking for some sort of coaching or maybe moving into the next level, what are 3 things in your business that you can bring to somebody that will bring them value if they chose to go in a direction that what you offer?
Yeah. 1, I can help you with creating a plan that will help grow your email list. If you are in business and you aren't growing an email list, then you're leaving money on the table. Okay. I know that a lot of people say it's all in the social media, but if you're not getting them from social media to an email list where you can communicate with them without it being a chance of the algorithm, then you're leaving money on the table. So I can help you grow your email list. I can help you develop that system, that program that you're going to take your clients through. And like I said, whether you're a health coach taking them through a new plan to get them healthier in their life, or you're teaching them how to sew, like you need to have a system and a way that's like, here's step 1, step 2, step 3. So I can help you definitely with creating that. And then the number 1 thing that I think applies, I know it applies to every single business, is developing your own personal brand. And that one is so huge. I know that especially in network marketing, a lot of people are like, well, my company has all of that. It's like, no, you are now your company and you need to brand yourself.
For sure. I love that. That's so true. So good. What's one book today? Not yesterday, not 5 years ago, but what's a book today that is powerful for somebody to read?
Oh, hold on. I got it. Mastering Leadership. Shift, Drift, and Change the World. It is by Michael Strassner.
Okay.
I'll hold that up a little bit more. There we go. Michael Strassner.
Mastering Leadership.
So good.
Perfect. I'll check it out, and everybody else should check it out as well. Stephanie, thank you for your time today. I appreciate you. Appreciate your value that you brought to the table.
You're
And
welcome.
man, it's so good to catch up with you. I look forward to
I
seeing what
know.
2022 brings for you and your business and your clients as well. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Chaz.
Yes, appreciate you.